It's strange how a place can pull you in, even when every instinct screams to stay away. I had always been curious about the old mansion on the edge of town, abandoned for as long as I could remember. It loomed over the landscape like a shadowy giant, its windows dark and empty. Rumors said it was haunted, cursed, or worse. But tonight, driven by a mix of boredom and reckless curiosity, I decided to see for myself. The front gate creaked loudly as I pushed it open, the sound echoing into the night. The overgrown garden clawed at my legs as I made my way to the front door. It took some effort to shove it open, and the groan it let out sounded almost human, like the house itself was waking up after a long sleep. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. My flashlight cast long, flickering shadows on the peeling wallpaper. As I stepped into the grand hallway, I noticed the chill. Not the kind from the cold night air, but a deep, unsettling cold that seemed to seep from the walls. I shrugged it off and moved deeper into the house, the floorboards creaking under my weight. The first room I entered was a once elegant living room. A grand piano sat in one corner, its keys yellowed and chipped. A broken chandelier hung precariously from the ceiling, swaying slightly as if caught in a phantom breeze. I ran my fingers over the dusty furniture, wondering who had lived here and why they had left so suddenly. As I explored, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. It was as if the very walls had eyes, observing my every move. I reached the library, a massive room filled with old, moldy books. The air was musty, and the smell of rotting paper filled my nose. I scanned the room with my flashlight and noticed something strange. A book was lying open on a table in the middle of the room, its pages fluttering as if caught in a silent wind. I approached cautiously and peered at the open pages. The text was in a language I couldn't read, the script flowing and intricate. My fingers itched to touch the pages, to feel the weight of the book, but something held me back. It felt wrong, like I was intruding on something private. Just as I turned to leave, I heard it, a faint whisper, so soft I almost missed it. It was a voice, low and urgent, coming from the walls. "Leave," it hissed. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I scanned the room, but there was no one there. Just me and the silence. The whispering continued, growing louder, overlapping voices speaking in a language I didn't understand. I backed out of the library, my mind racing. Maybe it was the wind, or the house settling, I told myself. But deep down, I knew better. Determined to shake off the fear, I continued exploring. The whispers followed me, growing louder with each step. I found myself in a narrow hallway lined with old portraits. The eyes in the paintings seemed to follow me, their expressions cold and judgmental. I quickened my pace, eager to leave this unsettling place. Then I saw it. A door at the end of the hallway, slightly ajar. Something compelled me to approach, even as the whispers reached a fever pitch, now clearly saying, "Don't go in." But I ignored them, driven by a mix of curiosity and stubbornness. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The room was small, almost like a child's bedroom. The wallpaper was faded, adorned with cheerful patterns of animals and stars. A small bed sat in one corner, its sheets neatly made, untouched by the passage of time. A sense of sadness washed over me, a heavy, oppressive feeling that made my chest tighten. And then I saw it, a small wooden box on the bedside table. It looked old, intricately carved with strange symbols. My fingers trembled as I reached for it, the whispers now a cacophony of desperate voices. I hesitated, my hand hovering over the box. The voices were clearer now, begging me to leave, to run, to escape while I still could. Ignoring them, I opened the box. Inside was a single, tarnished locket. I picked it up, and as soon as my fingers touched the cold metal, the room plunged into darkness. My flashlight flickered and died, leaving me in pitch blackness. Panic surged through me as the temperature dropped further, the cold seeping into my bones, and then I felt it, a hand on my shoulder, icy and solid. I spun around, but there was nothing there. The whispers had stopped, replaced by an oppressive silence. I stumbled backward, trying to find the door, but my fingers met only cold, damp walls. The room seemed to shift around me, disorienting and confusing. A soft light suddenly filled the room, emanating from the locket in my hand. I looked down and saw a photo inside. A young girl, smiling brightly, her eyes filled with innocence. A cold realization washed over me. This wasn't just any room, it was her room. The girl in the locket. She had lived here. The sadness in the air, the whispers, they were her memories, her pain. The light from the locket grew brighter, and I heard a faint voice, softer than the whispers. It was the girl's voice, filled with sorrow. "Help me," she pleaded. "Set me free." My mind raced, trying to understand. The girl, she was trapped here, her spirit bound to this house. The locket, it was the key. But how could I help? Desperate, I clutched the locket and whispered, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The room trembled, the walls shuddering as if in response. The cold intensified, and I felt a force pulling at me, dragging me toward the center of the room. The whispers returned, louder and more urgent, merging into a single, deafening roar. And then just as suddenly it stopped. The light from the locket faded, the cold lifted, and the room fell silent. I stood there, panting, my heart racing. The oppressive feeling was gone, replaced by a strange sense of peace. I looked at the locket one last time before placing it back in the box. As I turned to leave, I felt a soft breeze, warm and gentle, brush past me. It was as if the house itself was sighing in relief. I walked out of the room, down the hallway, and out of the front door. The whispers finally silent. I never returned to the old mansion, but sometimes, late at night, I find myself thinking about the girl in the locket, about her story, and the secrets she took with her. The house stands empty now, a silent sentinel on the edge of town, its whispers finally laid to rest. And though I'll never know the full story, I like to think that, in some small way, I helped set her free. Thanks for watching this chilling tale on Scary Stories for You. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more spooky content. Your support means a lot, and if you'd like to help out even more, consider buying me a coffee at the link down below. Stay tuned for more thrilling stories, and until next time, stay curious and stay spooky.